Hi and welcome, my loves. This is probably going to be the most important video on this channel. You don't know what it's like to be a woman until you have the right man on your side, and that's facts. So for all the women out there that are on this, I don't need a man, I'm Miss Independent, you're Mr. Independent. That's a big difference. You might be independent, but you might not be in your feminine essence. If I knew all of these things 10, 15 years ago, it would have saved me pain beyond anything I can describe, honestly. If you're single, wonderful. So send this to all of your single girlfriends that could possibly resonate with this content, because it will save them so much time, tears, and life force energy. The energy that went into broken relationships could have went into building my own life. But again, we're here now and we're making it better.
These are the 10 traits of a glorious man, a trustworthy father, our husband, and our future baby daddy. So let's go.
Why is this list so important? Because most of us grew up either without a father or without a father figure, meaning that if your father was around, he maybe wasn't an honorable representation of the divine masculine. Now, that's where we were as humanity, but we're moving into a different time. We're moving into a time where we reestablish healthy family systems, because healthy families are the pillar and the foundation of this planet. And so that's why this video is so important. If I knew all of these things 10, 15 years ago, it would have saved me pain beyond anything I can describe, honestly. Like, I've made so many mistakes, and it's beautiful because trial and error, and they all led me here. But if I had someone to teach me these things, I would have made much better choices along the way, or I would have declined a lot of men along the way. And I just simply didn't know. I didn't have a father figure around, but now I do. And now I know better. And this is why, if you're single, wonderful. So send this to all of your single girlfriends that could possibly resonate with this content, because it will save them so much time, tears, and life force energy. Simple as that. The energy that went into broken relationships could have went into building my own life. But again, we're here now and we're making it better. So if there's any information or advice I can give you, oh my God, I'm here for it. And I hope this will help. I know this will help. If you're in a relationship, this is beautiful as well. Either it will affirm the potential that your man holds, or it will show you that maybe you've settled for something that you shouldn't settle for. Because in the end, we as women, we are the gatekeepers of DNA, and we decide what DNA is valuable to be passed on. So if the man on your side isn't a man, he's a programmed boy, and not even a boy because boys are pure, but if he's a programmed guy that is just not showing up, and you're constantly wondering if you're crazy, this list might give you the validation to say, okay, I'm done here. This isn't it. He doesn't bring the foundation. He doesn't bring the potential. This list is also not meant to bash man. This list is not meant to push responsibility away from us, because there is a list that will come that is for us, because there's a lot of things that we have to learn, because most of us were raised to be man. Yes, I'm in a female body, but most of my life, I navigated life from a masculine energy. And so there are things that I have to learn. How am I as a woman? And the fact is, unless you have a real ass man on your side, you will never know what it's like to be fully, truly in your feminine. You don't know what it's like to be a woman until you have the right man on your side. And that's facts. Have I had profound experiences by myself? Yes, I did. But they don't even slightly compare to the profound experiences I had when a man holds the right container for me. So for all the women out there that are on this, I don't need a man, I'm Miss Independent, you're Mr. Independent. That's a big difference. You might be independent, but you might not be in your feminine essence. Because if you're out and about, you probably are using your masculine energy. There's nothing wrong with that. You go, girl. You go get that cheese. You go create that foundation. Beautiful. But come back to the truth, which is to know what a real woman is like, you have to be with a real man. And so unless you are with that man, you will miss certain aspects of what it means to be in your feminine essence. And there is nothing more liberating and nothing more beautiful than to have that man on your side that can create this container so you can actually experience what it's like to be a woman. So let's get into this. The first one is the divine masculine is disciplined. Now, this list is for you to make sure that the man on your side checks a lot of these boxes. That doesn't mean he has to get everything right? Because we are work in progress, so he's work in progress. We went through immense trauma as women. He went through immense trauma, right? This is not about he has to be perfect, but there has to be a stable foundation, and there has to be a big potential and a lot of potential already fulfilled. So this is also a checklist for your inner masculine, because the fact is you're also cultivating your own masculine strength. And now the reason why we need such a strong man on our side is the more cultivated our divine masculine is, the more powerful and potent is the man on our side. Because if he's not, then our divine masculine will always step up. He will always say, well, this man isn't trustworthy, so I have to take the lead. So you need a leader on your side. That's really, really vital for you to be able to be in your feminine. So as you're cultivating these gifts within, you will need a strong man to match these on the outside. The divine masculine is disciplined and obedient to his mission, obedient to God. You can tell by the way someone carries themselves if they're disciplined. And that's why I love the gym. You see the difference, right? If you've ever spent any time in the gym lifting weights, you can tell by the way someone approaches their training if they're a good man or not. Like, you have men that come in and you can have the hottest freaking chick with the biggest booty right in front of them. They won't even look at this girl because they have their headphones on and it's game time. They're working out. They're strengthening their internal strength and their external strength. They're in there to train. They're not in there to get sidetracked by a big booty or women. They're going in there to hit the weights. That's a disciplined man. You can tell by the way they walk, by the way they carry themselves, and it's freaking beautiful. There's nothing more attractive than that. And to me, I like the gym because you can see men in their rare essence. Like, you can see that testosterone coming out. You can see the divine masculine at work, or you can see weak guys. So this is the difference. And someone might lift super heavy weights and still be a very weak dude. So I love the gym as like an exploration for that. And you can tell the difference. And if you haven't been, I recommend you get a gym membership. It's just a beautiful way to explore. So discipline also means that your man is aware of addictions. Now, at this point in our evolution, we're probably not talking about addictions like alcohol or hard drugs. It's probably more subtle than that. But the divine masculine is disciplined because he knows the consequences of his addictions. And the addiction might be escapism, right? It might not be alcohol or drugs at this point, but the addiction to escape into work, the addiction to disassociate, the addiction to emotionally shut off, right? These type of addictions have consequences. So your man is obedient to God. He's obedient to his mission that requires discipline. How honoring is he of his time, right? Does he squander his time, or does he hold reverence for his time? Does he have a schedule? Does he have sequences of the day that are dedicated to certain things? That's very much so a superpower of the divine masculine. My inner masculine is breaking up my day into different tasks because my brain functions different very early in the morning than in the late afternoon, right? So there was a time when I worked out at the gym very early in the morning, but then I realized that the early morning is actually my time for creation. Like when I wake up, this is when I'm closest to God. The early morning hours are my time where I'm a very clear channel. So this has become my time for creation. And if I went to the gym, I would have squandered that very precious time window in which I can feel such a deep connection to nature. So this is now my time for creation. While in the late afternoon, I might be a little tired, but the moment I hit the gym and I'm doing the first set, I can get back on track. So I had to figure out a way to make the best use of my time and to not squander my time. So the divine masculine is a master at that. He honors his time. And which is also interesting because for men especially, the 4 a.m. time frame is where their testosterone peaks, right? So it's at a peak level. Your man will be aware of that. That doesn't mean he always has to get up at 4 a.m. and if not, he's a freaking loser. That's not what that means. But it means that he's aware of the consequences, right? So that's the time window you want to experience as a man, the very early morning hours, because you can experience a natural peak in testosterone. And now if you sleep in, not that there's a problem with it, but you know the cost of sleeping in. That when you're sleeping until 9 or 10, you know what you've sacrificed just now, which is okay, but your man is aware of that. As an example, like your inner masculine. That doesn't mean I don't sleep in, but I know if I sleep until 9, I did sacrifice that precious morning window. And of course, sometimes sleeping in is fucking fun and it's perfect. But being aware of your time and how precious it is. Productiveness, effectiveness, and knowing what to do with your time. That means that sometimes a man has to stop you in your tracks in order to be effective and productive and efficient. That might be weird, but it's a heavenly skill set. Because there is a tendency for us to be the rebellious aspect, the one that wants to talk about emotions, the one that puts emotions first. And so this takes a divine masculine to say, hey, I love you, but right now I'm in go mode, and this does not have time. This is not the right timing for your emotion. So also that, right? This might hurt in the beginning, or a man that doesn't constantly text us, right? There might be a part of us that's offended by it or that doesn't like it. The princess that is but I want you to be at my availability at all times. But a real man honors his time, and a real man is efficient and knows when there's time for you, and he knows when there's time to be on his mission, to be on his grind, and to do the work that he came here to do. The divine masculine that belongs on your side is kind, but he's fucking strong. Okay? And only actually a really strong man can be kind. That's the whole point. Kindness is never weakness, because kindness always comes from strength. because kindness is very different than people pleasing. So your man has eyes that will make everyone feel at home. Your man has a presence that feels fatherly, that feels like you can just melt in his presence. And this is why this list is so important, because there was this beautiful comment I saw the other day where she said something. So basically, the divine masculine feels like warm morning sunshine rays, something like that. And on a frequency level, I felt that. I'm like, fuck yeah, sister, I'm with you. But how do you translate that into something practical and tangible? So that's what this list is. We're looking at tangible things in the outside world. While yes, a man feels like sunshine morning rays and that's how he makes you feel, but how does that look like on a grounded level? Your man, your divine masculine, is generous, but he has boundaries like a motherfucker. Okay? Big difference again. Generosity is the art of giving, and boundaries is to know when not to give and not to overgive. So the divine masculine is a master of his life force energy. Generosity is beautiful, right? If he's a teacher and someone listens, he gives with generosity. He gives his wisdom freely. But if someone maybe even pays him, but the person isn't fully honoring the wisdom that comes out of his mouth, he won't work with this person. While there might be someone who doesn't pay a dime, but he's there, he's soaking up the wisdom, your man will be a generous mentor for him. But that's the difference between boundaries. Your man knows how to contain energy. He's a master at containing energy. In fact, a lot of us women can learn a lot from men. They have an easier time with boundaries. They have an easier time with their sacred fucking no. They won't allow someone in to basically take their energy away, right? This is a very powerful gift that the divine masculine holds. They're deeply respectful. They have reverence for others, but they're not people pleasers, right? They want harmony. They create harmony. But if their field creates dissonance for someone else, then so be it, right? The man isn't concerned with them. They have respect and honor until you prove them otherwise, until you prove that you're not someone to be respected or to be honored, and then they will just turn away. A man does not leak his energy, and he doesn't have people around that cause energy leakage. He has brotherhood around. He doesn't have dudes or guys that he's chilling with. He has brothers that he's cultivating life with, that both of them or all of them are helping each other reach success. He keeps immaculate company. So look around who's in your man's field. Or if you're dating someone, if you're getting to know someone, feel into this. Is he hanging out with guys or does he have brothers? Big, big difference. He also leads from love and integrity. Everything he touches, everything he does, everything he creates, it's coming from love. Now, that doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form it's all lovey-dovey. Love is not lovey-dovey. Big difference. And that's what I think is so interesting with Yeshua, Jesus, Christ. The way people sometimes display him is this like overly soft picture of a man. That's not true. Jesus was not a freaking hippie. Jesus was the divine masculine embodied. That yes, his mission was love, but sometimes the execution seems harsh. And that's a big difference. Your man is integrity, and everything that he wants to cultivate is more love on this planet. With everything he does, he's of service. But sometimes the execution of this can be harsh, because sometimes he needs to protect something. And the way you protect is by sometimes being harsh or being strong and being firm. Your man, no matter what he does, is an eternal student and the eternal teacher. So he is at a point of mastery. So he's at a point of mastery where he teaches others, but at the same time, he's always a student. And that's so vital. Like, he's continuously learning, right? And he doesn't have any ego that prevents him from seeking out experts or from putting himself into like coaching containers where he's being educated. That's very, very vital, because the last thing you want is someone that's a professional in one aspect of his life, but because of that rejects any wisdom coming from the outside. When you do that, you've placed yourself in a really shitty position. And I've seen a lot of men that do that. Men that are very masterful in one arena of their life oftentimes have a hard time with seeking input in other arenas. Let's say someone is a masterful businessman, right? And an absolute genius when it comes to creation of businesses, but he sucks at relationships. A lot of time, this man has such a high status that it's very hard for him to seek out information in that arena. I've just seen it all over again, right? You've placed yourself now on a pedestal where no one can help you, no one can assist you. And that's the recipe for a big fall. Like, if you put yourself in this position, you will eventually fall from grace, because you've now like created this shield around you where no one can assist. That's a very shitty and lonely place to be. So yes, the divine masculine is a master, but he's always a student, continuously growing in all arenas of life. The divine masculine places the greatest importance on his spiritual development, meaning he is as proficient in the physical realms as he is in the mystical, shamanic, and metaphysical realms. But it's grounded. I've been with men in the past that are incredibly tuned in, that are incredible energy workers, that are masterful in the shamanic realm, that see beyond the veil. And yet they were freaking lost in the 3D realm. They were freaking lost in the here and now. They couldn't get a business going. They couldn't take the right action. Now, yes, they were in some realm a masterful high priest, but that doesn't mean shit if you cannot translate it into this world. So these are oftentimes your typical gurus. Be careful here, okay? Because there are, especially, I mean, I live in Sedona. I see that all around, that people lose themselves in the mystical and the metaphysical when this is meant to work hand in hand. And so your man will always evolve spiritually. The spiritual development, the development of his soul is his priority. And yet he knows how to bring this down to earth, how to ground this into his business, how to ground this into his legacy and actually make a change. So he's devoted in his practices, in his spiritual practices.
And for a man to create a really powerful, energetic container, he has to be aware of the multidimensional layers of life. Only with a man who can perceive more than just the physical will you actually feel truly safe. He's the one that allows you to go deeper and to feel protected on every dimension and every layer of existence. So this evolution of his spirit is really, really vital.
The sixth aspect is the sexual awareness of your man, which is a whole spiritual practice in itself. Your man doesn't squander his life force energy. That's the difference. Dudes are foolish with their life force. They squander it. Someone that spends his time sleeping around, chasing women, literally losing his life force by just squandering his semen, it's a fool. This is not the man that deserves his DNA to be passed on to children. So we as women cannot allow ourselves to sleep with men like that until these men have learned to be a good man. These men do not deserve any attention from women. So this is on us to stop that. If we see a man sleeping around, it's on us to say, yo, this man doesn't even come close to me. We've all made mistakes in the past, I'm sure. I absolutely did. At this point, no freaking way. He has way too much to learn. That's the same consciousness that would come and rape the village. This is not something we can allow into our body at this point. Real men harness their life force and put it into creations that are meaningful. So that means that your man is very disciplined when it comes to his sexuality. He doesn't leak sexual energy, and he's not concerned with sex as a distraction. Rather, he is focused on building a foundation for a family to come in. So a real man won't be distracted by women. Yes, he loves women. That doesn't mean he's distracted by them. That doesn't mean he sleeps around, because a real man honors his life force and would never just sleep around with women. Yes, I know we've all been traumatized. Yes, I know we all probably had a past where we did that. We live in a different reality at this point. And so you deserve a man that honors his own seed and also honors his creation. So for a man that is actually embodying the divine masculine, he isn't concerned with women. He's concerned with marriage. But until he has created the foundation, meaning he has a business that allows a woman to walk into a low stress environment, meaning he maybe has a house so that she can walk into a low stress environment, he isn't concerned with women because he knows it's not his time yet. He knows it's time to build up his business. He knows it's time to build a foundation so he can take care of a family. This might be triggering, for some man that didn't grow up with a father figure. And we're all coming from a very traumatized century. It's on us to change that. No more victimhood. If you as a man want a woman on your side, then this is what you have to provide. That's just as simple as that. If you want to experience the feminine on your side, you need to provide and protect. If you don't provide a low stress environment, you will have another man on your side, right? That is in the same hierarchy as you, playing the same masculine game as you. If you don't want that, if you as a man desire a real ass woman, you have to provide a low stress environment. If not, you're going to be with a man and the dynamic is going to be effed up. So for us as women, if we find ourselves in a relationship where we're just half provided for, half protected, that's where our masculine steps in. That's not something that we can necessarily control. That's just our protective mechanism. If we're not fully provided for or fully protected, it would be foolish of us to say, I'm just going to surrender into this. No, this is when your divine masculine will step in and say, okay, if this is not done, I'll have to get it done. I'll have to step up. What I've seen in my reality is that my divine masculine will always fill in the gaps for the divine masculine. So you want a real protector and provider on your side, unless you're cool with that. Unless you're cool with that dynamic. But for me to create erotic tension, to create magnetism, and to create real beauty, I want to be in my feminine and I want to be a woman. A man that is concerned with his role as the protector and the provider knows that, and he will not fall into victimhood. It's just like, that's what a man does, so I'm going to do that. And this is when we get to point number 7. the dominance aspect, the hierarchy aspect. The divine masculine is very much aware of hierarchy. It exists. And the divine masculine will make sure that he's on top of the food chain, that he's the alpha, that he's a dominant presence. That's what a divine masculine is concerned with. Everyone else who tells you that this is BS or that doesn't exist is probably very low in that hierarchy or isn't grounded yet in manhood. Nature in itself has a hierarchy, right? If we just look at the elements, water will always beat fire, right? There is a hierarchy in elements. There is a hierarchy in nature. And so there is a hierarchy amongst man. And a real man will always claim the dominance over his domain. That's really important because that's the kind of man that will protect you from men that are lower on the hierarchy level. So men that are sleeping around, men that are freaking rapists or have rape consciousness, men that are driven by lust are very low on the hierarchy level. And these are the ones that are actually the predators. These are the ones to look out for. So a man on the high hierarchy level will protect you and is very aware of the hierarchy. And that's a good freaking thing because that's what creates a betterment, right? That beautiful competition of men saying, oh, damn, he's better. Let me get better. Oh, no, let me get better. Let me get better. That's what it is. And so the divine masculine is very much so aware of that and is not afraid of that. And nature in that always rewards the dominance. And this is something that we can see in more old school dynamics, but hierarchy is something that the man earns and that the woman inherits. Again, for men that are still in trauma, this might seem unfair. Why would the woman just step into an already made nest? This is how it works. Again, unless you don't care about a dynamic of feminine and masculine, and you're okay with being with another man, because that's what you'll get, right? It's not that the woman wants to be lazy. If the woman steps into an environment that is not low stress, she will be the man and she will make it work. But then you're not getting the best out of her. If you created a hierarchy where you're high up in the hierarchy, you will have a woman in her best self because she's not stressed, because she's in joy, because she can actually be, for the first time in her life, maybe a woman. She's the one that brings the peace. You bring the protection. So again, the only men that complain about it are men low on the hierarchy level and men that grew up very traumatized and didn't yet work through the trauma. The divine masculine has a clear vision, not an airy-fairy, this is what I'd like to do, but he has a clear vision. His goal is tangible. The divine masculine is a master at goal setting, meaning he has a 15-year goal split up in 5-year goals, split up in 1-year goals, split up in 3-month goals, split up in 1-day goals, right? He has a master plan. He knows where he's going. He's great at executing, and he will develop every skill that needs to be developed to get there. That ultimately is safety. So again, that goes for the divine masculine without, but that also goes for you internally. Again, this is a business part, but the manifesting is one aspect. How strategic are you with your manifestations? Because the spiritual feminine aspect is wonderful. The masculine aspect is the strategy, is the goal setting, is to get really measurable, tangible with it. The divine masculine also will continuously commit himself to development. He will never stop, right? There's nothing more pathetic, to be honest, than seeing a man in his early 40s, early 50s, and pretending they're getting old. Nothing's more pathetic than that. A real man knows that this is his prime. A real man knows that he has authority over his time and the way he ages, or the amount of age that he carries. So when I see these men in their early 50s that have given up on life, or complain about their hormone levels, or complain about that it's too late for this and too late for that, that's pathetic. A real man knows that there's always more to learn, will always immerse himself into new gifts, will always immerse himself into the development of new skills. Number 9 is competence and contribution. Your man is dedicated to his legacy. He is dedicated to purpose and polarity, meaning he knows what it takes to hold the right dynamics, and he's committed to that. Plus, he's committed to his legacy, right? He doesn't just look into the next 10 years, but he's also looking into the next 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 years. And he's committed to his legacy, to leave this planet a better place with a massive impact. He's continuously concerned with his spiritual DNA to constantly upgrade his crystalline DNA. The man is the leader, and he's aware of that. He's the leader of the house. He's the leader of his domain. Now, he is a follower to God, and he leads himself to God first and foremost, or nature, or ayama, whatever you want to call it, right? The everlasting, the universe, purity. And once he leads himself to that, which teaches him how to be a follower, he leads other people. And naturally, he exudes leadership. The divine masculine is, from his DNA, a protector and a provider, which means he will provide the finances for the family because that's what he does as a leader. He will not complain about it, nor will he find anything wrong with that, because that's just what it is. That's in his nature. It's in his nature to provide. And the divine masculine looks at his finances as the measurement of his contribution. He will never complain about finances, because he will look at it like, okay, maybe I have to make a greater contribution. My finances are a reflection of the impact I'm making on society. And if my finances aren't sufficing, apparently my contribution isn't sufficing. So that's the way a man, the divine masculine, perceives finances. This is, of course, also the way that I perceive my finances. I cannot complain about my finances. I have to create avenues to share my service to others better. That's why I spoke about the sales component. I spoke about the business strategy, because essentially, if we care about humanity, we have to care about sales. So again, the way the masculine perceives finances is a measurement of his contribution. And if his finances aren't enough to take good care of his family and to be abundant and to create, then there's something off in his service. There's something off in his offering, which will make him rise to the occasion. This is not just something that I came up with because it sounds good. These are actual laws that real men live by. So this is not just something that I made up. This is what the real men in my surrounding talk about. This is what the real men in my surrounding live by and what they strive to be. So for any of you that believes that there are no good men out there, it's not true. It's not true. And as long as you believe there are no good men out there, a man like this can't find you. Because if a man like this would walk into your field, you would look for all the flaws, or you wouldn't believe that this exists, so you would try to sabotage this. So you as a woman have to first believe that these men exist, because they do. And if I read any comments that are coming from fear, or, yeah, but there are no good men around, and honestly, I see a lot of these comments. That's not true. It's simply not true. And please don't apply statistics here. All right, this whole like fear porn with, oh, but the statistics say. Statistics are not applicable to your life. Your life is subjective reality. Statistics are trying to make life that is inherently subjective into objective numbers. Who are these people that are in the statistics? People that know that they're gods, people that know that they're created in the image of God, people that live in accordance to nature, people that live their divine blueprint. Are these the people that are in the statistics? Or are these people that do not know that miracles are inherent part of their reality? Are these people that are lost in the matrix, right? So it's like, forget about statistics or what your friends tell you. Once you become aware that this is the standard for families, that this is what you deserve, that this is what's out there, men like this exist. Once you have that as your blueprint, this man can enter your reality. Because now when you prepare for a man like that, you won't somehow sabotage it. You won't look for his failures or the flaws in his character, because you can trust that, hey, I've prepared for a good man. I've prepared for a man like that. I opened the gates so a man like that can come in. So therefore, it's real. Once a man like that walks in, you're not surprised anymore. You're like, oh, of course, I prepared for this. That's the difference. But if you walk around thinking that good men do not exist, but then a good man walks by, you will find a flaw in him, because your belief system is stronger. The energetic law you created is that good men don't exist. Therefore, every man that walks by will show you a reflection of your energetic law. So change that. Change this belief system. And this video was created for that, for you to be able to see that, okay, wait, these are the laws that real men live by. And maybe I just haven't met a man like that, which is very possible. It's highly likely. But trust me, as you get used to that this is the type of man that belongs next to you, you will see more and more and more reflections of that. So I hope this was helpful. I know this would have been immensely helpful for me 5, 10, 15 years ago. That's what our father should have taught us. So here we are, we're learning it. And again, you are so deeply, deeply invited into the mastermind that is starting 11/22, the rebirth. We're completely creating a new paradigm for your existence. We're creating a new light body. We're learning how to channel our sexual energy into actual life force energy. And with that, become more magnetic. We will go through every single trauma that might still be a blockage and just rewrite it completely. This will be our mastermind, our council. It's an intimate container, maximum 10 people, maximum 10 women, because I want to keep this very high level. So there is a coupon code in the newsletter. So sign up for the newsletter. There's a massive price. You will be able to afford it. Money's not an issue for this one, because this is our first round. This is my offering to this community. This is my offering to the beautiful women I see in my comment sections, the ones that have been supporting this channel from day one. This, again, this is about us growing together. That's not about the money. The money will come. I will automate this. I will create this as a passive container. This first round, the first 9 months, is not about that. This is about us creating the most potent healing program we can possibly create. This is about me pouring everything I've learned into this container. So this will be a total rebirth. You will not leave this container in any way, shape, or form the same that you entered it. We will create a new foundation, a new paradigm for you. So if you feel it, connect with me, sign up for the newsletter, get the coupon. It's available till 11/11. So be there. If you feel it, you're meant to be there. We will change our lives. For every single woman that will enter this container, I will make sure that your life is changed. I'm in it. So I love you so much, and I see you next week.